Are you planning on selling your home? Don't let closing costs catch you by surprise. I'm going to share with you some closing cost tips that every seller needs to know to avoid surprises and help you keep more money in your pocket. So, the first thing is you need to understand what closing costs are. These are the fees that you're going to encounter during the home sale process. These are going to be things like agent commission, expenses from the title company, any releases that the title company will need to get on your behalf, wiring fees, warranty deed preparation. You could have repairs. If you know that there's going to be certain repairs that the buyer asks for, you need to budget that into the process. That way, you have a more realistic idea of what your proceeds are up front than to be surprised when you get that closing statement at the end. Second thing is you can negotiate repairs ahead of time. What do I mean by that? Well, because buyers are going to do a home inspection, and so usually that's when they're going to be asking for the repairs. If possible, try to negotiate repairs up front and factor them into your asking price. That's why, if you know there are things in your home that a buyer is going to take issue with, then price your home accordingly. One of the things that I offer to my sellers is to do a pre-listing home inspection. I pay for an inspector to come out, do a 10-point inspection. Let's check these things, and then we know where we need to be if we need to negotiate some repairs up front in our price, or can we just go ahead and fix them and then make this report available to buyers saying, hey, we've already addressed these issues. Third thing is be prepared for your agent's commission fees. Do the math or have that agent prepare you a net sheet. This is typically going to be the biggest expense that you incur when you're selling your house. Everybody's heard by this point about the NAR settlement and what that has meant to commissions. So far, buyer agent commissions really haven't went down. And what I tell my sellers is if you want to open your home up to the biggest pool of buyers, then you need to be able to compensate that buyer's agent. Make sure you're calculating that, you're doing the math, and you understand what the net is going to be. The last thing I would tell you is you can't forget that your property taxes and HOA fees are going to be prorated. So obviously, tax bills came out in October. If you're selling your home this time of year and you're closing on it, then you're going to be responsible for the bulk of those taxes. And even though you may have an escrow account, and even though you've paid into that escrow account all year, if they've not paid your taxes by the time we go to closing, the title company is going to put that on that closing statement. You'll get a refund check from your mortgage company because the taxes have already been paid. You'll get that money back. But a lot of times people think, oh, well, I don't have to pay the taxes. I've sold the home. I've had an escrow account for that. But that's not going to work. If your mortgage company has not paid the taxes by the time you go to closing, you will have to do the prorated amount for the majority of the year. HOA fees are the same. Some of those will go from July to June. Some go January to December. I've even known some that go from April to March. So depending on when the HOA sends out their assessment of the dues for that year, you'll have to pay a prorated amount for that. Now, if you've already paid for the whole year in advance, then you're probably going to get a little bit of a credit back from the buyer in regards to those HOA fees. So closing costs are always going to be a part of the process, but you just need to plan for them, think about them, and really look up front before you even list your house at what your proceeds are going to be. So if you need more help with figuring out where you're going to be after you sell your home, feel free to send me a DM. We can work up a net sheet for you.